Hi guys, this is Stormouse03. Time for another Resident Evil 7 video. This is Night Terror mode on the Banned Footage Volume 1 DLC. And we unlocked this by completing Nightmare mode. And so Night Terror is pretty much exactly the same as Nightmare, except it's on a harder difficulty setting. And so that means that your turrets are not going to have as many shots. Enemies are going to be harder to kill. And there are going to be more of the more difficult enemies. And so, for example, in this first wave, you're going to have 4 of the 4-legged mold instead of just 2. I think there were only 1 or 2 in the Nightmare mode. In Night Terror mode, there's going to be 4 of them at the end of the wave, and so you want to be careful about that. I don't think I'm going to do commentary throughout this entire thing. I just want to tell you how I'm setting this up, because it is very similar to how I did Nightmare mode, and so I'm just going to tell you my strategies here at the beginning, and then let it play and let you watch and see what happens. So, the first thing that you want to do is buy corrosive to get through that door so that you can open up this back area. This is very important because you're going to just need this extra room to run, and you're going to need the extra turret slots that are back here. It's just a really good area, and so you want to get that straight away. Now, I had 400,000 points, so you unlock things as you get more points by playing the mode a few times. I already had 400,000 of them from doing the Nightmare mode a couple of times, getting my strategy for that one, and getting that filmed for you guys. And so I would say it's likely that you're going to have around the same by the time you finish that, just because even following some strategies, it's difficult to do that without making some mistakes. And so you should, if you do that, and I would definitely recommend that you do, go ahead and get 400k. If you go ahead and get the achievement in Nightmare mode beforehand, that's awesome, but I would play it maybe through another time or something to unlock your 400,000 points. It's not that much, and it will put you in a really good starting position for Night Terror mode, because you'll already have 1,500 scrap, which means you can go ahead and buy that corrosive and go ahead and unlock that area straight away, and that's going to be super helpful. I picked up the knife, which, I don't know, I'm not that great with the knife, but my strategy was to knife things where I could and pick up the scrap that these compactors are making in order to make some turrets and make some traps, and then help out the turrets with my knife by knifing enemies as the turrets are shooting them. And so that was the strategy that I used to get through this first area, or the first wave. And then I purchased a handgun during the second wave, but I only really used it to shoot barrels to help me kill Jack. So you're aiming to get the circular saw after you get the corrosive. So you get the corrosive, you get through and open the way to the back room, and then you want to try to use as little scrap as possible to get you through this wave and into the second wave. Now in the second wave, we're going to kill Jack, but I would recommend using traps, using those explosive traps, using the explosive barrels. I did buy a handgun. It only costs 50 scrap, so it's not that expensive. Even if you need to buy another pack of 10 handgun bullets for it, that's another 50 scrap. It's not that expensive. And so I would recommend doing that and using some turret fire and some of the explosive traps and some of the explosive barrels, which is why we bought handgun ammo, in the second wave was not to really shoot at Jack, but to shoot the barrels to do some damage on him. And that should help you take him out without having the circular saw, and then you get 2,500 scrap from killing Jack in wave 2, and that in combination with whatever you get from killing the enemies and whatever you have left over should give you more than the 3,000 scrap that you need to buy the circular saw for wave 3. And so that's kind of the strat that I'm doing right here. In wave 2, if you run around and just kind of kite enemies through these areas, Jack will show up fairly quickly, and you really won't have to kill very many of the enemies. And so don't worry too much about killing stuff aside from Jack in wave 2. Just kind of run around, kill things where you can, but don't worry too much about it. And try to get him to show up, and then use your resources to take care of him. So now I'll just comment on this right here right quick. So this is where the four-legged molded show up. I'm kind of staying in this little area. We killed one already with a turret, and then some more are going to show up. The turret's going to run out of bullets, and then we're going to put the second level turret on to take out the rest of them, and then just kind of block and let the turret do some work for you to take out the rest of those four-legged mold. That's what I do there. The majority of the money that you're going to be spending is on traps and on first aids for these first couple of waves, because again, you just want to be saving up 3,000 to get that circular saw at the beginning of wave 3. And then once you have that, you will be able to deal with most of the normal enemies very effectively. For the fat molds that shoot the acid at you, I'd recommend using some traps, using a grenade launcher if you can purchase it, and maybe shooting it a tad bit in the head, and using your turrets. And then the other waves are pretty standard. There are 3 of the fat molds in wave 3, so that's another change that they made. There was only 1 in wave 3 in nightmare mode, but in this mode there are 3 of them. And wave 4, there are a lot of those one-armed molds with the crazy black spiky arm. And so they're tougher, but your circular saw should do a lot of good work for you. After you do buy the circular saw, what I would recommend spending money on are upgrades to your health, upgrades to your healing, so that you get more healing out of the first aids. Upgrade your speed once. I purchased an adrenaline, although I don't think I needed it, but it's only 300, so I would get it because you don't want to be caught in wave 4 or 5 and miss out on your achievement or trophy because you got caught in a bad situation. I would recommend leaving the door that's on our right here. Don't buy the corrosive for that, because it's hard to get in and out of that room. And on this mode, it just really isn't worth it. It costs 2,500 scrap, and you're going to need that scrap to purchase other things. In the final wave, buy a magnum and shoot Jack with the magnum. I also bought a grenade launcher and shot him with some grenade launcher rounds. It's really cost efficiency at that point. It's whichever one of those things feels more cost effective to you. I think if you buy the grenade launcher and 1 set of 3 rounds, that's pretty inexpensive, and then just keep buying magnum ammo until you take him down. You can shoot him in the head for more damage at the end, but the saw blades are kind of in the way, so you'll see me shoot him in the body sometimes too, because if I wasn't particularly confident in shooting him in the head in that very moment, I went for a body shot instead, because I would rather get a body shot than to waste a magnum shot by missing and hitting him in the saw blade. And so that's kind of it, guys. Just use your turrets wisely, use your traps wisely. Always, always, always make sure you have at least 3 first aids stocked and ready to go. And it might take you a few tries to get through these first couple of waves and kind of get your rhythm going. But once you get the circular saw, you should be pretty set up. One more thing that I will say about that, if you crouch in a corner and hold it out in front of you, that will do wonders for you because you're usually able to take out most enemies with that. In that way, that'll help you with those 4-legged molds because you'll be kind of down on their level and more easily able to hit them in the head than you are standing up. And it just provides you some extra protection because you have sort of a smaller hitbox, and you can be sawing at their legs and sawing at their bodies, and if they go down on the ground, they will be pretty easy to take out with you crouched like that. So in any case, those are the strategies that I used, guys. At the end, you'll see me kind of derp around a little bit trying to change the slots of my weapons. I forgot which button it was that allowed you to move your weapons around. I think it's X on the Xbox controller, and that would be square on your PS4 controller. But it had just been such a long time since I played this game that I had completely forgotten which button it was that allowed me to do that. So there were a couple of moments where you'll see me messing around in my inventory, and that's why. It's just because I couldn't remember how to move stuff around, and I didn't have a lot of time to mess with it because there were things attacking me. So maybe you'll get a couple laughs out of that. I'm sorry that happened, but it is what it is. So there you go. Jack is done for this wave, and you'll see me grab the circular saw and grab some personal upgrades and move forward. The speed upgrade, the first one, it costs 500 scrap, but I'd say it's really worth it because you move a lot faster, it seems. So I definitely recommend that. But you'll see what I do. I laid it out for you guys, and let me know if you have any questions about what I'm doing or why I'm doing what I'm doing. If you have any other strategies or tips that you want to provide for people that you think will be helpful, please leave them in the comments below. I always appreciate when people let me know what their strategies are, because, you know, this is just the strategy that worked for me. It's not necessarily something that is perfect or, you know, it is necessarily the quote-unquote best, easiest, most amazingly awesome pants way to do things. It's just the way that worked for me, and I feel like is pretty consistent and can work for you guys. And so, by all means, I'm never saying that I'm perfect and that my methods are perfect, and how dare you question me. That's never what I intend with these videos. It's just trying to give some people some help if they're struggling. So sometimes just seeing somebody else do it gives me confidence that I can do it, because I'm like, okay, I can replicate what they're doing, you know. And so that's always my aim with these guides, guys. In any case, I will stop talking now and let you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Enjoy the killing of stuff and things and sawing through your enemies. And this strategy will work also with nightmare mode. I just wanted to show you guys two different ways of doing it. I thought that was nice. Otherwise, I would have gone back and filmed my nightmare mode again with this circular saw, because I think this is a really, really good strategy. So if you are struggling with nightmare mode, this strategy will work with that as well. You just need to make sure you have your 400,000 scrap at the, or 400,000 points to get those unlocks that I had at the beginning of this one. So there you go, guys. Hope this is helpful to you. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you at the end.
Okay, I want to go home. What is up with this fucking house? almost morning. Keep it together. When I'm done, I'm gonna burn this fucking house down. gonna squash you like a bug.
What's the matter, son? You out of ammo?
I'm an old man, son. You can't take on an old man. Where in the hell you think you're going to, son? You gonna get it! God damn it. Fuck you. You can't hide from me, boy. You know we'll find you, right? I do.
I see.
It's over, boy. I'm an old man, son. You can't take on an old man. I'm waiting. I'm gonna squash you like a bug. You're part of the family now.
Alright guys, so I am back. Just going to wrap up this video with you. And you'll notice that he takes so many shots. If you were able to get some more headshots on him than I did with the Magnum, he'll probably go down a little bit easier for you. But I mean, you'll notice that, I mean, he just takes a ton of punishment. The saving grace of this is that he moves pretty slowly. You could also saw him. I had the saw as like my backup for him. I just didn't want to get too close because I know that you don't have the damage resistance like you do in the campaign. So there you go. There is Sleepless in Dulvey, your achievement and trophy for completing the Night Terror mode. And hopefully this was helpful to you guys. I know that Jack there at the end takes a ton of damage. And like I said, you definitely can use the circular saw on him. I wanted to show you how to do it keeping your distance because, like I said, you don't have the damage resistance that you do on the campaign because you don't have those defense things. Anyway, there it is. Hope that this was helpful to you guys. And I will see you in the next one. That's Nightmare and Night Terror modes done now, and we can move on to another mode on this DLC. So I will see you there. Thanks for watching.